The Kickback Show. What's in your cup?
A whole lot of everything, man. The Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. I go by the name of Files, and she is...
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Tiana Giovanna, as always. And he is...
DJ Swivel. Anything less would be unswivelized.
Very excited because, we got family and extended family in the building today, man. I'm really excited to have these brothers on. My man, Mark W. What's good with it, brother? How y'all feeling,
Hey, what's
man?
going on with you? It's the meticulously multi-talented Mark W. I had to go ahead and say that because I knew Foz was going to just trip all over that one.
Intentionally, too. Whenever somebody puts a tongue twister in front of your name, you gotta screw it up intentionally. You know what I mean?
The shade
only a snitch would. And you know what? I'm going to applaud the growth that your little roaches on your head been taking on. I'm going to applaud that.
I thought being that today was a holy day, the day that the Lord has brought us, you was going to be on your best behavior. But I'm glad that you got the brim to cover up the hairline that is escaping you. Trying to travel.
Wow, shots fired.
Oh, no. It's only
we do it?
escaping me because that breath I can smell over the airwaves. You see what I'm saying? That's why you in the car.
I want to challenge Mark W to do the Don't Rush challenge. Take your hat off, put it on stage, and bring it back. Let's see if your hairline will come back from slavery.
See if his hairline pulls a LeBron James.
Hey, look. I'm gonna pull a Tiger and a Tory Lanez on y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get that thing to grow all the way back. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I mean,
bring it castaway.
Wait, Shy just down there like,
You feel me? Like, I don't know what they're talking about right now.
And look, before he introduced himself, he just went ahead and snatched my whole look. You know what I'm saying? He took my locks and just twisted it in the head. He would put a fatty wop on us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you had. I mean, his works because it works. You know what I'm saying? Yours, on the other hand, you had the Stevie Wonder hairline to where it was really just a yarmulke of locks.
Hey, look, you gonna have everybody thinking that I was really out here bald. Like, no, bro, like the hair is fucked up at the moment. But I got a hairline. It's intact.
Your hairline shot though. You said it adapts. Your hairline adapts.
Meanwhile,
It's cold-blooded up in here, man. It's cold up in here.
Hey, let's get off of me.
Wrap
Let's
up
my dude
today.
shot like, God damn it.
I was trying to be love and friendly, but yeah, look, we here for music. Not here for the meticulously missing mustache and beard goatee of Mark W.
Hey, I'm glad that you even know me that well, man. It's your boy, I like you, Steve. If not, put your goggles on. I got all my hair. I don't know what they talking about.
Chylite over there, like, you see it.
Right.
Yep, shake it out. Shake it out. There you go. Boom.
Shit.
Yeah, man. I just hit a year this past weekend, man, of growing mine. So I haven't it actually locked up. So,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That in
Look,
between
man,
stage is hard though. Like for real. Cause I'm growing my hair back out and I'm like, I'm glad I'm going through this ugly phase at home. And I have the ability to pop on a wig even though I have yet to wear one. Or like wrap it up.
There ain't no such thing as an ugly phase ever. I learned that early on. It's just a matter of how you wear it, the confidence that you wear it with.
Nah, it's still an ugly face.
It's still an ugly phase. Ugly phase is confidently messed up.
Yeah, you can be confidently ugly, you know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like,
Hey,
Confident in that. Like, well, I know
hey,
my-
Bruno was up here in that permanent ugly face. Look at it.
Dang. That's what type of show this gonna be, y'all. That's what.
Mark came
Hey,
from
look,
Florida,
every time I get on the show, I ain't been in a while, so I got to snap on all of y'all. It happens.
Always.
take your hat off. Let's see another hat. Let's try out another one. See what that do.
Oh no, this is for branding. This is for branding. I need this.
Got it. Oh, okay, for branding. Okay. Yeah. I get it. You know?
Yeah. No hate.
When my grass was drying out, you know, I would cover it up too with like water.
Hey, look. It's a whole situation over here. The kitchen normally in the back, but right now the stove top. It's on the front. I need to go ahead and get this pit popping. I ain't about to. It ain't gonna happen.
What's on the stove top? Like you tofu scramble? Is it like?
Nah, top ramen noodles, nigga. That's you went real specific with the tofu. No, this is top ramen, my G.
Oh my God. It's probably school all over again right now. We in the back of the class.
Oh,
He like,
man.
Get up.
I got shot at first. You know what I'm saying? I'm just defending myself. You know? Yeah.
Hey man, this is like the ground in California.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you quarantine. You know what I mean? For an extended amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you just got ammunition on stockpile. You know what I'm saying? That's dope.
It's just there, man. But you know, it's really good to see y'all brothers, man, and definitely to have y'all on. Excited to talk about this project and this collaboration. Walk us through the development of how just all of this came together, and then ultimately the beauty that we got with this project.
Mark, you want to take it
I
away?
think I was gonna say, I think you tell that story best, brother. Go ahead.
I got you. So I met Mark W. I came to LA via Palm Springs, and before that it was Chi-Town. But when I first landed in LA, you know, I was dibbling dabbling in the local circuit of the music scene, and I record myself for the most part, but mixing and mastering has never really been my bag. So I was always looking for somebody to do that. Found Mark W. I actually followed him on Instagram first, and then we met in real life at a show at can't remember the name of that place right now. Project
Mayhem.
Right. We actually met up over there, and he started mixing my music. And every time I would come to the studio, he would show me the stuff that he was doing. You feel me? And a lot of people was coming to Mark Dub for, to get a hot 16. And my man's was showing me his work, and he was showing up the hell out on everything he did. I was highly impressed. It got to the point where I was like, always looking forward to hearing verses from this guy. And IBS has a service called the Gold Mic feature. That's a really good promotional tool. It helps artists promote. I was using it to promote a song I got coming out, or that I had coming out at the time. And so I was gonna do the video that he shoots for the Gold Mic feature, and we did a photo shoot. And I was showing them what I was gonna do for the Gold Mic feature. And I was telling them that my intention was to get a feature on that song. Now, I listened to a lot of Mark W before we had got to that point, and he's a real smooth, debonair, Keith Sweater rap type nigga. You know what I'm talking about?
Don't say Keith Sweater. Don't say.
They're like, hold on, you go and say that. Hey, it is what it is. But I said the song I had in mind, it wasn't really, of that caliber. So I didn't know if he really wanted a hand in it. And, I gave him opportunity, or, he took the opportunity and bodied it as usual. And from then on, he was just like, let's see what else we could come up with. We had planned to do maybe 5 or 6 songs. Right. And we had 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, the chemistry was always there, man.
So yeah, that's how it happened.
That's dope, man.
For real.
Hey man, organically coming together like that is the best.
Yeah, man. On my side of things, like I said, I was engineering them, and I was just listening to the bar work. Dude got crazy schemes, and I just was sitting down one day mixing. Actually, I just gave him another mix that I had finished. I can't remember which track it was, but afterwards I was like, "Yo, what do you think about doing a whole project?" Just like how the album opens up. We tried to make the album as fitting to the organics of the situation as possible with all the skits and things like that. So when it opens up with "Yo, what we got going today," it's I remember you got a 16 for me. That was the track we're talking about. Didn't make the album, but that track is still in sitting. But that track was real. And then after that, I was like, "Well, what do you think about doing a whole project?" And I was thinking 5 or 6 tracks. Chylite had a different plan in mind, and 20 tracks later,
he throw that on me.
I'm throwing it all on you.
Yeah, that is not my fault. Look, I kept coming with ideas. He kept coming with hooks. I kept coming with verses. It was like, that's why the project named Lite went, because it was easy. Like, we didn't try hard to do any of this. Like, the creativity when me and him get in the studio, it just overflows. The sauce is immaculate. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's really crazy. And you know, when you get around people that you don't really have to work, it's just like you thinking the same thing I'm thinking, and yo, that happens so much,
so many times,
so much. Like, I'll be looking at them like, hey, you shouldn't be like, I'm already doing it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey, what they say these days, no cap. Like,
I asked him to take his cap off, but we still waiting.
And you gonna be waiting, my brother. No, there's an image that I would uphold, and the quarantine cut is in dire need.
That quarantine
Dire need. Oh my God. I respect it. I mean, I think that's like the most important thing, especially in this creative process. And I believe it happens more often than not, but it's very rare when it happens as quickly, you know, as it seems as this did, when you find not only artists that you appreciate and have like a respect for, but then you're able to actually share that chemistry inside, and it translates over into the music. You know what I mean? I think that's incredible, man. So at what point did you say, you know what, we have enough? Because clearly you exceeded the initial goal. I'm pretty sure that this could have, been a continuous thing, which, I mean, ultimately could lead into a conversation of, the sequel and definitely turning this into a series. But at what point did you say, you know what, let's add, this is enough, let's choose what we have, and then, start manifesting this thing?
So leave it to Foz to go ahead and, jump the gun on things and, foresee in the future. You know what I'm saying? It's the tone of voice. I understand it's the voice of God that always allows you to see things in the future. That's that wave cap Johnny in you. But now, to answer the question, I think it came, we were at a spot, and let me back up even more. To be clear, it could have kept going, and it did. Like, we got to another track where it's going to end up on one of our projects. While we were about to body it, we wrote our verses, and our formula is we write our verses, and then I showed Chylite how to record it in your phone first, so you can get tones and all that things together before you even get to the booth. So we would do that often. And then we got to the booth, we recorded the hook, and we were about to lay down verses, and we were both like, hold on, does this sound like a bulk of the project? So we just stopped for a second and listened to the whole thing. And when we listened to the whole thing, while that track is still nasty, at that point it was like, okay, I think we got enough where we could piece together an entire project and see what that sounds like. And then we put everything in its place, like just threw all the songs that we had recorded thus far into a playlist. And we just went through and snatched songs out, put songs in, and kind of mix and match a lot of things. And trust, that process took, I think, would it take about a week, Chop?
Yeah, at least. A lot of finishing up the project, like it got to the point, it was like, okay, what vibe are we missing? Because Mark Dub, as far as like arranging a project and presenting like an entire body of work, I was always like a song by song kind of guy, you know what I'm talking about? But he was always thinking bigger picture, portrait style. So it was like, all right, what emotion haven't we touched? You know what I mean? And it was just getting to the point where it was like, we did everything, but I think like the last song was like a party joint or something like that. Like, cause we had reached into everything else that people weren't. Yeah. I mean, we were doing everything people weren't doing, but gotta have something to just turn up to every now and then again. So we did that. And then, not even to talk about another project, but we had songs that, because of course, in the midst of making all this, George Floyd and that whole situation happened. Yeah. And so, we started writing a whole other section of songs that just didn't fit the vibe of, it fit what was happening in the world, but it didn't fit the album. So there's that other project that we put together.
Born in Hate.
Yeah, Born in Hate, streaming now. So it's like, when we were finishing the list, it was just like, all right, we got enough, but especially these days, people got short attention spans, man. Amen. So we didn't want to give them a 20-track, EP. We wanted to give them something short, concise, but complete. I feel like we hit that mark most definitely.
You know, it's crazy because I want to come back to the short attention span thing, because I feel like it's such a misleading narrative, especially when it comes down to like, yeah, we may not necessarily listen to a full song or watch a full video, but we sit and watch an hour and a half long movie. You know what I mean? So I think it goes back to the quality. You know what I mean? The quality that you give to people that captures their attention and resonates with them to keep their attention. You know what I mean? But you touched on it already, and I was going to ask, how did the current state of society now in this new world that we're ultimately living in affect it? But I mean, clearly you answered it, because I mean, it's not really too much turning up that we can do, I guess, you know, together, as much as, you know, just in our own personal spaces. But it's like, it makes me wonder how many people are really looking for, you know, party type records or turn up records when really they need exactly what you just said, like records that connect to emotions and things of that nature, you know?
And to speak on that a little bit, like, to be honest, like Chylite said, like, we were going to put that in the record, and it was just going to be one track. And then, so that was the, give me the young boy's name that got shot while he was jogging.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery, okay.
So it was just going to be on that instance, and then the George Floyd happened, then we find out about Breonna Taylor, and then a whole mess of anger came out. And we both had different approaches on that, how we could address that anger. And we can't fit that much anger into a project that had nothing to do, we didn't start it in that state. So it's just like, all right, well, let's take time real quick and put this together. And that whole it's a 5-track EP. It was gonna be 4, but the last track I presented an idea to Chylite, like, this is how I'm feeling. And it was a little bit more solemn, and he was like, yeah, I'm feeling that, but I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling like 7 bricks need to go through somebody's face. And you know what I mean? So it became a 5-track. So we took a second from Light Wind, and we paid attention to Born in Hate, which is streaming right now. And then once that was out, we got that out of our system somewhat, because it still isn't. But then we got back on Light Wind. So that's our attention span being short.
No, I think that just shows, like, because of the climate that, you know, we were in through that whole situation, was like, you know, everybody needed to let off steam and needed to vent. Yeah. And that's why we saw, like, what we saw with the protesting, and
we're still seeing
it. Like, I mean, you know, so it's not necessarily like being distracted or short attention span. It's like, yo, I got to get this off my chest to get it out of my system, and then I can re-engage in Light Wind and what the normal, or not normal, but what the previous plan goal was.
And to add on to what Snoop was saying too, it's almost like unfortunate to be an artist trying to express yourself in that manner, because like you mentioned, as soon as one thing happens, you have a level of emotions that you try to express, then here comes the next thing and the next thing, and then you haven't even said the first thing you wanted to say before the narrative has ultimately shifted, and now you got to clarify this over here while dealing with so much. And so, yeah, man, I commend y'all for at least getting something down, you know, for the people.
I think the most important thing when you're creating is to not ignore the emotion that you're feeling. We never made any song for the sake of making songs. I mean, like the little turn up record we did, She Got Fans too, that it was off the heels of stuff that actually happened. I mean, like people that can't go out. I was seeing it when the quarantine first happened. People, girls, guys alike, everybody was getting dressed to the nines, sitting on their couch and doing this. Having means like us, playing music and turning up in their phone. Like, I mean, it was to that. So, you know, I think that's what makes our music so impactful, because it's all based on raw, natural emotion. We didn't think about none of this stuff too tough. It was just put it in words, fam, and make it sound good.
Above
all.
So with that said, like, I mean, because of the quarantine, like, a lot of our shows recently have been more just conversational style, but I do want to highlight some of the music off the Light Wind album. Which song do you guys want to start with first?
Shoot, since we talking about it, let's play She Got Fans Too.
Hey.
And it's actually produced by my big brother, Prime Minister. Yeah.
Man, came through in a clutch with that one. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, tell them why it came through in the clutch, because that's the story, bro. That's
so. What we always did, like we never sat too long on any one song. We would record, and like we would save the mixing and mastering for another day. We recorded all these songs, and then when it got to purchasing track outs, we waited to the last minute to do that because we didn't want to stop what we were doing to do that long process. And in the midst of all that waiting, the original version of She Got Fans, somebody had bought the exclusive rights, so we couldn't release the song on the album if we wanted to. So and this was like what, two days before the release?
3 days. 3 days.
3 days before the release, like this happens, and we're like that. The project would not have been completed, wouldn't have been right without that song. No. So I'm like, yo, what are we gonna do?
Hey, look, and the song was mixed and mastered with the original beat on it. It was already done.
So wait, you mean Prime flipped or turned around a beat within 3 days before the release?
Yep.
Yo, but nah, he turned the beat, like he shot that back to you like what, the next day? Later
like
the
next day and a half. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
so we had
to have time to record it and get it remixed and mastered.
Yeah.
Some magic happened, let me tell you.
Yo.
That's insane. Oh.
Yeah, he came through in the super clutch. That was supposed to happen. That's how that goes.
The universe has a way of working itself out every time.
That's real.
Round of applause to the Prime Minister for that, man. Shoot.
For real, for real.
Big.
Yeah, man.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it then right now. She Got Fans Too. Mark W. Chylite in the building. This is off the Light Wind album.
Right, man.
Streaming everywhere right now.
Right now.
It's the Kickback Show, snitch.
Hey, nigga, let me see your phone right quick.
Yo, what up?
Scroll up right here.
Okay. God. Right? Nigga.
She double checking that frame inside the mirror.
She got ass too. Made a call to her friends are scrolling with her.
They all bad too. Twerk test in that dress, nobody thicker.
Yeah, you bad, boo. Live streaming how she gon' move that figure.
She got fans too. Yeah, you bad, boo.
You and your friends too.
Pics got mad view.
She got fans too. Dang, yeah, you bad, boo.
Ooh, you and your friends too.
Shit, pics got mad views.
Yeah. She got fans too. Caption under her picture says she don't fuck with broke niggas. Got a mute button if you hating something. More love inside of her swish. Pre-game shots in her system make you double take and play victim. If thirst trapping has symptoms, she be first tagging that mention. Don't get caught and lost in your simping. It's a long list for attention. She a double stack of back.
The Kickback Show. What's in your cup?
Living in trying times, man, things are much different. I think the thing that I appreciate the most is how artists, creators, Black people all alike are able to tap into that survival-like instinct that dwells in us to make a way, even when things are unwarranted and unsatisfactory. Definitely want to highlight the, clearly we just listened to the song, but Mark W., your fans only pay for your hairline. For women that love all men.
Hey, as soon as you think he's about to say, right?
What?
As soon as you thought he was about to say something actually constructive, my G.
Hey, look, man, I'm used to this. It's cool. I'm used to it. At least my beard is well manicured at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I take time and actually line up before I know I gotta get on camera. Actually do some grooming to the face. Because as we all know, this is the money maker. Apparently for yours, you don't feel like it's your money maker. I understand.
Well, I mean, when you have hair follicles that are very stimulated and tantalized, and they just grow on their own will.
You said tantalized.
You just gotta let things go. You know what I mean?
Well,
that sounds like you were trying to say something else. I don't know where that was going.
I'm just saying, like, you can't go.
Hey, so how long I've been married, bro? Like,
about 5 years. been about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Been about 5 or 6 years.
The relationship going
About 5 or
strong.
6 years.
About that. You
Yeah.
know, my wife felt some kind of way at the wedding when he was talking to me like that. I understand.
She'll get over it. She'll get past it. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Oh,
She'll
man.
realize that it's for a better cause. It's really me growing out my hair to donate to you so you could be the man that you were when she met you. You know, hair wise. You have these luxurious implants.
Hold up. That one hurt. Let me take
Hey.
You need that one back. That one hurt.
What
Are
a
we
nice
back?
watch back in time. Like, god damn.
Are we back?
Golly. That's all right. It's coming back around. You know, Mufasa got killed at the beginning of Lion King. That's all I'm saying. At the beginning.
Oh my god.
Man, look. Look, amazing music from y'all brothers, man. Clearly we kind of already exposed that there's going to be more to come. But
sure.
I guess the question then becomes, what's the end game? To keep this thing going and to live in this moment, or what's the end game with this collaboration?
So it's funny you mentioned that. Like, out of this whole process, we just realized our chemistry is very well yoked. It's evenly yoked. What I bring to the table, Chylite can benefit from. What Chylite brings to the table, I can benefit from. So one thing that ties us together outside of music is the fact that we both know how to edit. We both know how to hold a camera. So beyond this, it becomes, Shy, you need a video shot? I got you. Mark Dub, you need a video shot? I got you. And then we can both edit for each other. And to that, both all the videos we put out so far, either I've edited or he's edited, or we had somebody else shot and we both took turns edit. Like every video we've touched, that's from Sideline Seat, Burn One, and in your playlist thus far, we both had a hand in the direct creation of that. Shout out to Big Lyric for coming through within your playlist though. He definitely came through with that, shooting it for us. But Sideline Seat, that was when the COVID verse broke out. So we found an then abandoned parking lot. And
it was a gym. That's why it was closed. It was a gym.
Right. It was a gym. So we went to a gym's parking lot. I brought the camera with the gimbal. When it was my turn to be in front of the camera, Chylite was holding. When it was Chylite's turn to be in front of the camera, I was holding the camera. And then then I edited that one. He did the same thing for Burn One. Shout out to Quest for holding the camera on that one. And we just did what we had to do. So with that, beyond this project, when Chylite has something coming out, I'm gonna help him with that. When I have something coming out, Chylite's helping with that. We were just talking about that last night, what the overall game plan is gonna be. And just really helping each other out in the midst of pushing like Win, and then Volume 2 eventually coming down. We gotta let this one live for a little bit, because Volume 2 could low-key come out next week. Low-key come out next week.
Do you already know how many volumes you plan to put together, or are you just gonna run with it for as long as you can?
I don't think it's we haven't thought about anything we've done thus far. So I don't think I'm not gonna speak for Mark Dub, but I don't think we're gonna try to make something when we don't feel the need to. Outside of Mark W and Chylite, we're both independent artists, so we both got solo projects that's gonna be coming out as well. Yeah. It's just like doing the one thing that we do have in common is because we're both independent artists, we both wear a lot of hats. I mean, in the business aspect of things. So having me be a part of his team and have him be a part of my team, it allows us both to grow as independent artists as well. So there's that whole grind on top of what we've done as a joint venture. But when you say what's the end game, I can't tell you that, because we initially set an end game for 5 or 6 tracks, and then we went far beyond that. We said one project, we did 2. And we didn't think about any of that. So I think, we're organic is what got us where we at. So I think that's where we're gonna keep it.
And that's a good idea. That Born to Hate project literally was spur of the moment because of the climate. And just like I think one thing that kind of stands out to me is like, Mark, as you were describing like how things have kind of grown and played out, like that explains like the album cover in terms of like your guys' chemistry, the yin and the yang with the white and the black album cover, like, which, you know, shout out to Mac from Uprise Imaging. Like,
hell yeah, he killed that.
Hey, that's somebody else that came through on a last minute call. I hit him up on a Friday. The album's supposed to come out the following Wednesday.
Oh, so
Man,
That's dope.
that's incredible.
It's incredible how like all these puzzle pieces like fell into place, like even at the last moment to make this project happen.
But you know what? I think a lot of that has to kind of speaks to your character as an artist, because I mean, I will say, and I think that the listeners can attest to this, is that, you know, just like your chemistry with Foz, you know, like we joke around, we have a good time and whatnot. I mean, you're not like a dick to work with. You're easy to work with. You go out of your way to help other people. Other people are gonna go out of their way to work with you. And so, you know, I think that kind of goes to speak to like the type of cat that you are, because if you weren't that kind of dude, then these people wouldn't be coming through in the clutch for you.
I will take that. That is a great compliment. Appreciate it. Yeah, but seeing as how we talk about Foz and Chylite, I hope I am not a dick.
I understand the chemistry he has with Foz. Cause like, dude, we be roasting each other. Check the blooper reel. It's nothing. We're talking all day in the studio. Like, it's just what we do. Like, it's you know, outside of making music, like, he a cool dude to hang with. He a funny dude. So it's like, you know, again, we don't think about none of it. We ain't trying none of it. I mean, that's what matters.
I think it's important too to have a lot of that, because the last thing you want in the studio is a yes man. And I just recently saw like a clip that resurfaced of Nipsey, rest in peace, talking about his brother and how, you know, his brother within like the creative process, he literally come to throwing hands at each other. Like they literally fought because his brother would say, "No, I didn't like that," or, you know, when it came to like pertaining to his music. And, you know, to have somebody that is critical in a sense, but a colleague that can share their thoughts and that critique to make something better, I think is definitely something healthy and something that you need in the studio.
Yo, we actually had two separate moments, and Shah can attest to this. The first one came on Burn One. That hook originally had a different flow and a different melody. And I was about to re-record it because that hook is old. So I was about to re-record it because I have a better mic, a better preamp. And as I'm going through it, Shah was like, "Hey, hold on, before you do that next stack, I mess with the hook. I like it, but that's not
But you can't sing
today."
Nah, hey, it's actually the exact opposite.
Okay.
I tell him he's talented with this singing. He's like, I'm not really singing. This ain't singing. Like, I mean, dude got this like super humble vibe. I be telling him like, bruh, you got to get off that. But exactly. And, you know, to the point you were saying earlier, I was just about to say the same thing about the Burn One track.
Yeah.
Because he takes my criticism, like, and it was of his singing ability. As much as he tells me he's going to turn me into an R&B singer, I don't think that's going to happen. But the fact that he took my critique, that he took my criticism seriously as a nigga that don't sing, that's how, like, I mean, that is how you classic project, for real.
You know what? Like when the video for Burn One came out, I think that for me it was like my real like solid introduction to hearing Mark vocalize like that. And I was like, okay, Mark, go ahead with your bad self. Like, I see you. Like,
yeah, wait, you know how long we've been working together and you didn't know I do that?
not like that though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh yeah, word. Yeah.
It's almost like when you see an ugly girl and you don't know that she actually got talent.
Hey, yo, I'm done. I know what the issue is. We're not in the same room, so I can't feed directly off the vibe.
Oh my God.
You know what? How much do you really not like me, Foz? I feel like you stay up at night thinking about
I love
it.
you. People people that I bust like this is in my family though. Like you show up to a family reunion that happens this way. So this is my way of, this is a love language. You know what I'm saying? This is my way of saying, yeah, brother, I care about you.
Hey, what we say, Shy? Like, nigga, you good?
You good? What's up?
How you feeling? No,
You want to get off your chest?
How you feeling?
What you really trying to say?
But now the second time that happened, when it was like my critique on Shy, it was on Born in Hate, and it was actually the first track, Plight of the Black Man. I think that was the second track we recorded for that tape. And we got to his verse, and he was spitting it. I was like, yo, I think you might want to go a little bit lower in the first part. He was like, nah, that's not how I hear it. I was like, I mean, okay. So he went through it, and I was like, yeah, it's just not resonating with me. You got to do it a little lower. He was like, man, all right, dude, fuck. And so he went through it, and he's like, it's not hitting. I was like, all right, maybe take this word out. Maybe take that word out. And then we went through it. It still didn't sound right. All right, put the word back in. And I swear he was looking at me like, bruh, if you tell me to do this thing one last time, we're done working right now.
And he ran me in a circle for about like 45 minutes with that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But we got the money take though. I had to learn to like trust this guy, like, cause I'm the type of dude, I don't like listening to people because it's like, if I take your instruction and then I don't like the way it turns out, then I know I shouldn't have listened to you in the first place. You know what I'm talking about? I got a terrible trust issue with people. So, but like I learned to just trust what he says. You feel me? Like, not to get off the Born in Hate thing, but like when he was mixing my music, my solo stuff, he was, bruh. I'm not even gonna bring the song up right now, but he had put some vocals in one of my joints.
Oh yeah.
It was hot before he got there. This nigga just, bro. I called him back. I was like, nigga, what? You didn't tell me, like.
Yeah.
I mean, so trust, and we definitely had that trust in the relationship now. Definitely trust.
And I think trust everybody either though. Like, so I'm with you, Chylite. I am not a trusting person. I'm like, because I've been there where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'll do what you say, and then it comes like whatever they say, it turns to shit, and you're just like, see, I knew it. But so
follow my gut, right?
Yeah, right. So being there it can be difficult. So I feel you on the whole learning to trust someone. That's hard. So like, kudos to you for doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's dope. Let's get into another one, man. What else can we play? Or what else do you want to play?
I say play No Red Carpets.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all heard that yet, but No Red Carpets, when we heard the beat, shout out to, that's Epic, right? Epic the Dog.
Epic.
Yeah, we were going through production. Like, we would have sessions where we just go through, man, 100, 200 beats just to look for that one, like it had to speak to us. And the entire vibe, that's one thing I learned from Mark on this on this song specifically, was the vibe was royalty. I mean, and how do we speak to that, seeing as how I don't specifically have a castle, but every man's home is his castle, you know what I'm talking about? But it's like to feel like you're a king of oneself and express that to somebody else, and it came out incredible. I'm telling you, man. Shout out to Mark W for the way he arranged that shit too. Like, hey, that last bridge at the end, that's the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we were trying to figure out how we was gonna end that. And in the mixing stage, I think this was on like day 3 of the mix. It just hit, and I sent it back to Chylite, like, well, what do you think? How we end this? And I was about to play it for him. He was, because we do a live interaction all the time on our IGs. As soon as I played like the swell, he's like, nope. I gotta listen to that in person.
As soon as I heard he was going, I was like, I don't even want to hear it right now. I need to be there for this one. I don't want to hear this over the phone. I'll be there in 15 minutes, like, for real.
That's really how that happened.
Shy's like, I live an hour away, but I'll be there in 15.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yes, neither would. So yeah, No Red Carpets, that's the one.
Definitely.
Man, let's get into it, man. Sound like Mark W up in this thing, win light win. Dyslexic like a mother.
Win Lite. No. You say that backwards, it means something else. It means something else.
I might be even trying to clean that up. I fluffed it. So I mean, maybe that might be the sequel. That might be the title for the sequel. You know what I mean? You never know.
Probably not. That's the title of the album your dress about to put out. Win Lite. Win Lite.
We're gonna come back, and you just best believe it's gonna be a clip in the chamber, brother.
Just do this one time. If you smash your eye, then you can talk to me. If you do this and you hit your eye, you can talk to me. Yep.
It's almost there. Look, brother, all it took was a light wind to blow all the hair off of your. It's the Kickback show.
Oh my God. This is incorrigible.
Yeah. Hold up. I don't need a red carpet. Nah. I don't need a band march. I just need you to acknowledge it. You ain't gotta bow when you see me. Not at all. But you know a king when you meet him. Hold up. The crown stay heavy. Hold up. But you know I stay ready. You can't ignore me. Cause you see the roars.
This is exactly what you think it be. I just let the demeanors be. Strutting in these Nikes like it's rose petals beneath my feet. Whip off on the various side streets from the chariot. Y'all just is hilarious. I'll show you what a pharaoh is. Beyond prophecy, this journey was an odyssey. I tried to live with modesty. That type of shit was blocking me. But when I accepted that it wasn't an elective, I smashed shit like Gallagher. Author swinging Excalibur. I'm the descendant that ascended. This greatness won't be circumvented, just extended. My nigga got thrown in the wolves den. I came back puffing loud, draped in a 3/4.
Don't miss a beat. Follow us on social media at The Kickback Show. Kickback on everything.
Yeah, the last time Faz tried to talk, it just sounded like he went backwards. So I understand your confusion, sweetie. I understand. I know he should think before he talks. I don't know why he's doing it. He's just doing it to himself.
I understand you don't understand the toddler lingo. What she's really inquiring about, she's wondering why there's patches of hair on your face here, but nothing here. She's asking, like, it doesn't make sense how you baby face here, and then you like Jennings over here, Anthony Hamilton on this side.
Oh my God,
man!
I mean, that's okay. You just E40's older brother and just told him, like, you know what? Don't even worry about trying to shake your dreads anymore, bro. I'll take it from here. You can go ahead and cut them off. I'll take it from here.
All right. If facial hair was a rapper, your facial hair would be Silk the Shocker.
Yo! I appreciate that one. That was harsh. Silk the Shocker.
that's fucked up.
Golly.
All right, so I got a personal question for y'all, because this roast is literally fire, which was my exact reaction to when I heard You Ain't Gotta Ask.
Yeah.
How and I already Shy, just so you know, like, I immediately text Mark when I heard it. I was like, yo, this record?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Talk to us how that record came about, and, like, you know, particularly like the sample, I think, for me.
So that one, so I was listening to that beat. I was in a session with another artist. We were looking for beats, and that beat came up. And I was listening to it like, yo, this thing is crazy. Sounding some old slave hymnal, like this thing, and the big bass on that thing, it was knocking. But when the other artist heard it, I don't want to say his name because I'm not that type to put people out there because it's not going to be a good thing. He said, no, Mark, I'm literally scared of that beat. Like, no, I don't like it. That beat is scaring me. Now, mind you, the artwork on the beat, it looked like an old blackface character, you know, teeth stretched out, and it was creepy looking, but I think it fit the beat because of how aggressive and like almost tribal sounding. I was like, all right, we ain't got to choose that beat, but I kept it in the tuck. I knew that beat was fire, and I was like, Shy, what you think about this beat? And I told him that story. He was like, yo, what's wrong with dude? Like, this.
What's wrong with this man? He ain't got the cojones? That's too bad.
Right.
So email me that. I had 16 for you tomorrow.
Yeah, and so the logic behind it, I was just like, yo, you know, and again, it was one of those moments where it was like that I'm on the same page. I just said that I think the way we go about it is you ain't gotta add. He was like, say no more. I got you. And we got in the studio. I sat with Quest to help pin that hook. I wrote my verse, he wrote his verse. I was like, Sha, we need a bridge for this thing. He was like, oh yeah, no problem. And then the intro, I was like, we need some slick shit to say. We pulled up an old episode of the Boondocks, and he didn't realize it while he was recording it, getting the light of that knowledge. At the end, he was like, I didn't realize I played with my own name there. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Everything is coming together.
That little throat clearing at the beginning, that was real. I was supposed to take that out. I said, nah, we gotta keep that in there. We gotta keep that.
A lot of authentic moments.
That's super dope. Is there ever any moments that you all experienced to where you were like, yeah, this is dope. I kind of low-key want this in my own solo, you know, kind of have one of them selfish moments where it's like, damn, like I low-key, I want this for myself.
I think that happened throughout the whole thing. There's songs in the whole that we're like low-key battling over, like, all right, I want this one for my solo project.
It was not so much like for the finished songs, but definitely for the instrumentals. We was definitely having those arguments. Like, like this is on the project. I want this for my shit, nigga. Fuck that. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
But you know, I mean, I don't know. We solved all of them issues. It wasn't nothing too big. I mean, because either way, as long as the world get it, bruh. What we haven't released yet. That's the Light Wind is crazy as it is, but I'm trying to tell you, like, the stuff that we haven't even released yet, bro.
Right.
Man, listen.
Yeah, there's tracks that didn't make it simply because they didn't fit the current vibe or the current sonic scheme that we mapped out on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some joints on there that haven't been heard, and then there might be some joints that get leaked on his project, might get leaked on mine. I'm not gonna give nothing away.
You're gonna have to take
exclusives, the Kickback Show world exclusives, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're welcome.
Man. Yeah, there it is, man. I'm excited to see what that's gonna be like, man. Because clearly there's magic in those types of moments, and I feel like it is once you kind of work through those issues, it definitely works for the better, especially because you're gonna put your best foot forward, especially if you're that passionate about it to where you want it for self. You know, it's just a matter of getting past that ego to, you know, for the greater good, essentially, you know.
Yeah, I will say in the studio, there were no ego trips at all. In fact, Chylite had to do his best to say, and that goes to the last track on the album. He was like, nigga, fuck humble. Why do you keep talking like this?
Yeah,
so
you always trying to downplay like
my last verse. Chylite said, fuck humble. I'm about to make a Trojan's track.
I mean, hey, just drop it on his shoulder like, feel it. Feel it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nah, but
I said all that language in front of the little one. I'm so sorry.
What? You serious?
Listening to you.
As far as I'm concerned, he sounds the way I sound to him. Stop it.
She ain't listening to you. She YouTubing.
That's what she was trying to tell you a minute ago.
I ain't worried about you.
I don't listen to no man with not enough facial hair.
Oh wow.
Booga laga mustache.
Give it gobble, your face looks like a chia pet. Give it gobble.
Oh my god. That was
That's a good one.
So
That was a good one.
maybe we need to start with like the interview and just make this show just roast.
I mean, you know what's it wouldn't be necessarily unfamiliar territory because, you know, in my family we've roasted Cornish hens before, and the way that his face is set up.
Cornish hen.
I mean, we taking all this from the reject of Boys to Men that couldn't play the baritone. That's what we get, you know. Hey girl, nah, get out the booth. You know, that's
Hey, hold on, man. I just realized Mark over there cooking himself like a Cornish hen with the red lighting he got going on.
Hey, wait a minute now. That might look like his toaster oven is broken. That's what he look like right now.
Hey, hold the hell on. I look like I'm sitting on the back of somebody's car. They brake lights, nigga. Get it right.
Right, because they telling you to stop. You're trying to do all that fancy things you can't do. They telling you to stop.
Mark,
right now.
Mark W. sitting inside the room where you develop film. He's trying to develop the rest of the hair follicles.
If Boz look like he got kicked out of the house, he can't even sleep on the couch. He got to sleep in the back seat. That's what he got.
No. In front of us, the Uber driver's wondering why he ain't got out the Uber yet. That's what's really going on.
I was waiting for Crunchy Black from 36 Mafia to say something. I've been watching that ass.
Hey.
Why you got kicked out the group? Why you got kicked off Bad and Bougie? Because we was having popping my college.
Do it look like I got left off Bad and Bougie?
I was waiting.
Hey, look.
You can tell.
He's about to do the little Uzi leg.
You can tell by them lights that Chylite spent the most on his couch. He ain't got no other furniture in that room.
Hey, this is Corinthian leather, player. You know what I'm talking about? What is that? Toyota?
No, this is Malibu. Corinthian leather. You know the Corinthians got beat up by the Philippines. You know what I mean?
I mean, how Filipinos over here?
It sounded good in my mind. I just had to shoot it. Every shot ain't gonna hit. Every shot ain't gonna hit. I like how you said Corinthian leather.
Yeah.
Ain't that just fancy word for possum? Got a possum.
This is exclusive hot right here.
Corinthian's Italian, Negro. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it's an Italian possum.
You got it from the Italians. So they picked up some roadkill.
You got yours from the Japanese. Mine didn't come with a headrest, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna be there one day. You sitting Obama style, but it's still a Chevy set. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay.
He called your car a Metro PCS giveaway. It's part of the Obama plan.
You feel me?
Coming from if hairlines were Wi-Fi signals, you'd be sponsored by Cricket.
I'm gonna need you to get a new one. It's cool. We got to get a new one on that one. Write that one down.
All of them ain't gonna. Some of them gonna be flagrant. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Chylite, you need more light in your room though, because all we see is floating teeth.
Oh snap!
You need less light. All I
about
see is
to come and dump on
outside, nigga. Everybody got residence but you. What happened, fam? Don't trip. Hey, if you're doing bad, I got a couch for you. Don't trip.
I've slept on possum before, so I would take you up on that offer.
Only you can prevent forest fire.
Oh man, Chylite over there with the Snoop Dogg tank top on from Bad Boy.
Hey, from Baby Boy.
Is this Jody?
That nigga Jody?
Take care of his
This
kids.
You build yourself a little
Jody
fort.
that can't afford his own rent. Jody gotta call his baby moms to bail him out of his mama's crib. Jody?
Oh my God.
Oh
Little
man,
fort, huh? There, cuz. That's cute, man. Fuck you, little fort.
Fuck
you little fort. I ain't your daddy.
Fuck your
little fort, cuz.
Oh my
Hey, we
God.
kicked this. Hey, speaking of Snoop, I don't know if you all watched the interview that he did via the Breakfast Club,
I did.
which he was dropping some major bars, man, and it helped me to respect, number one, Master P.
For sure.
And you know, I mean, this is definitely a credit to you brothers. Just being, I mean, Shy, you mentioned it a minute ago, being independent artists, you know, and having to do, you know, be multifaceted. And as you mentioned, both of you with directorial skills and being able to produce at such a high volume and do it by yourself or on your own or with a small team. And just hearing that story really helps you to respect independent artists and understand the level of genius Master P had to be able to have 100 artists that were all coming out at the same time and really running the rap game and making an imprint during that time. And then also to be able to give like a platform for the likes of Snoop, who was, you know, it had revealed that he was going through hard times and anything to his name, and was able to come and then not only produce 3 amazing albums, but then basically launch his career after that, you know what I mean? And see even higher levels of success after dealing with Master P, and even him crediting him for like helping him to become more of a businessman within the industry, man. So yeah, man,
Didn't Master P help Snoop get a label going, and then Snoop can bring all the artists up underneath him? Because I remember him having a similar story. I think it was on Power with Big Boy, but
yeah, because after that, you know, we saw the East Siders, we saw 213, you know, we saw Doggy's Angels. Like, you know, you really saw like the amplification of the Dog Pound and then the likes of Battle Cat, who had been doing this thing, but you know, clearly there was, you know, there's a branch that comes from Snoop Dogg that definitely made, you know, a loud dent in the universe when it comes to music. You know what I mean? It gave us some incredible work.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
It's just in times like this, I wonder, you know, I always ask the question, especially the independent artists, it seems as though it was a much easier back then, but is it easier now or more difficult to kind of get to that level when it comes to being an independent artist? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's easier to be independent, but I think that's why, like, you hear about people one day and you don't the next, because it's really up to them to keep that up. And not everybody has that kind of work ethic. I mean, not everybody has that kind of consistent drive. It's very easy to get distracted in the business. And, you know, aside from that, one of my favorite quotes I always say, in the midst of making music, life happens. So, you know, it's about, you know, staying down. I think Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, said it himself. You know what I mean? Only difference between me and everybody else is I didn't stop. You feel me? I never quit trying. So you know, and plus I love what I do. And I think that's one of the biggest things me and Mark got in common. Like, it's not like I'm gonna stop doing this, you feel me? So let's get some money off it, you know what I mean? And while we're at it, let's make something classic. Let's make something epic. You know what I mean?
And to piggyback off of that, like, I think it's, I don't think it's a matter of it being, I think it's kind of double-edged on that. Like, you know, it's, like Shy said, it's easy to be an independent artist these days, but it's also real easy to fall off. So while it's easy to get into the independent artistry game, because there's so many avenues, so many tools for you to use to get your music out there, but you also got to remember, everybody got those same avenues. Everybody got access to those same tools. So now we got a flooding situation. So to make yourself relevant in that space where everybody can get up in there and put their foot down, to make yourself stand out amongst that, that's where I think the challenge comes into play. And then that's where you got to really get into your creative bag as far as making sure you're heard and making sure that you stand out above the rest. I think in recent times, one of the better people to do it outside of Clown here is The Baby. I think The Baby does a great job as far as getting himself using all these avenues and then standing above that with his marketing and creative ideas to make his shit stand out. Because without that, it'd just be another dope artist that gets lost in the shuffle. And I think that's the key that a lot of independent artists are missing. And this, to Chylite's point, it's why they end up falling off. Why you hear about them one day, they can't keep it going consistently afterwards because they're trying to do something that's not necessarily something that can keep up with.
Right.
I think that's a challenge.
I think also to that as well is they live in the moment. And I think, you know, I want to say J. Cole kind of got brought back up because on Kids on Drugs album, it was basically writing a letter to the Lil Pumps and that new generation of the, you know, quote unquote mumble rap or the SoundCloud rappers coming out, and trying to help them understand, like, you're doing something that's hot right now, but you need to try to refocus on something that's going to carry you over, and think progressively how to reinvent yourself to make sure that you stay relevant, and you know what I mean, you stay successful, and it doesn't just, you know, you don't just disappear in 6 months to a year, you know.
Right. Are you doing something that's timeless?
I'm curious to get both of your guys' opinion on something, because the Breakfast Club also was interviewing a gentleman. I didn't catch his name, but they were talking about, you know, the record business and you know, independent artists, and like he was saying that, like, if Drake were to decide to go independent, it would shut the whole music industry, or the record label business, I guess, down, because, you know, in this age we're in now, where, like, you know, the artists are doing the vast majority of the work themselves in terms of promotion and that kind of thing, and you know, developing your fan base and your following. But we don't, as independent artists, you guys don't need record labels for distribution anymore, because people aren't buying CDs. You know, everything is digital now. So would you guys want to see record labels kind of disappear? Do you think that there would be a benefit if record labels disappeared and everything was just like more independent, I guess?
I think if the record labels disappeared, it would separate who really want it and who really don't. Because, you know, like, record labels, they quit to give check. That's why you see so many kids in the game. Like, kids, and when I say kids, I'm talking about under 18. It's a lot of, like, little rappers coming out young as hell. And it's like, why are they getting these kids? Because a kid that don't know no better ain't turning down the $25,000 or $250,000 check, $500,000 check. You know what I mean? They're not turning down a $20,000 check. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, those kids you can sucker in real quick, suck them for their talent. I heard one guy say that he was sitting next to a room next to, like, a marketing agent or something, and he heard him reference rappers like horses in a Kentucky Derby. They ride them until the knee breaks out, throw them out, and go get another one, because there's always another rapper out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this guy was saying, was like, you know, they will be quick to give an artist, you know, $1 million check, but then, you know, only give them 20% on, like, royalties. So, like, you know, it's like, dude, but the artist got to use that $1 million check to pay for studio time and production and all that kind of stuff. So by the time, you know, it's all said and done, probably like half, if not more, of that $1 million check is already gone. And now they own your name, your face, your likeness, and all that, your sound, all that kind of stuff. And they're only paying you 20% royalty. It's like, dude, it's not worth it. And back in the day, like, yeah, it was needed because you needed labels to help get your music distributed. But now with everything being digital, we don't need that per se. Yeah.
So to that point, if we got rid of the labels, I think a lot of people would stop doing it. I mean, I think a lot of people would quit putting out music because of the weight would be on them to make it happen. You see what I'm saying? When you got other people, when you got, like, creative directors and all that, people that build the vision for you, then all you got to do is come up with rhymes. And like 6ix9ine said, he wasn't even trying. He was just putting words together. You know what I mean? So, you know.
But to me, that's why 6ix9ine will never be successful. I don't consider him successful at all. Because it's like,
I think a lot of that kind of rap is like, it's something weird to look at. And people always like to look at weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a dude with rainbow hair talking tough shit. And now it's a dude with rainbow hair talking, like, I don't know, like baller shit. Like, it's just funny to me. Like, it was never really entertaining to me. But, like, now it's just like, I'm just wondering how long it's going to rile out, because it's like everybody that blows up like that off a viral moment, nobody has ever lasted off a viral.
Well, I think I saw, like, the song he had with Nicki Minaj, like, it was high on the charts, like, for like a couple days, and then it dropped to like 30 something or whatever, like almost overnight. Yeah,
hard drop.
It's so gimmicky, you know, just him with his abstract look, and then of course you throw Nicki Minaj on there, it's gonna get a little attention right away. But then if the song ain't talking about, you know, anything, it ain't gonna last.
You already know.
And so, yeah, I agree. I think it puts the ownership back onto the artist, and a lot of artists this day and age, the ones that are motivated, they definitely do the work necessary. That's why you get somebody like a Nipsey Hussle who can afford to come to the table and make a deal, as opposed to taking a deal. Now it's like, all right, let's partner up, because I can do this shit without you. I got so many backings over here. They'll buy my stuff. I know they will. So you need me. I really don't need you. And I think, you know what I'm saying? I think he made it evident. And if somebody like a Drake were to hop off a label and do it independent, I think that would make a whole climate switch, where a lot of independent artists will start to say, you know what? Yeah, I can. And I think that's happening, really. Once people started really seeing that Nipsey had something and was really going about something, and we start seeing the deals that he had in motion before he passed, and that was about to make waves. I mean, I know for myself, I speak for myself in that space. I was really energized. I was energized off the Proud to Pay campaign. And then to see that he's now making a deal with a partnership with the label, where that's not even a conversation independent artists have, that energizes me. So if somebody like Drake were to do that, and somebody like Cole were to do that, somebody like Kendrick were to do that, because they're all signed under a big umbrella corporation, they start taking that those steps to, like, you know what, let me independent, make my dollars completely independent. Now it's like, well, what excuse do you really have? You know, or what's really stopping you? Because these cats did it. Yeah, they busted their ass to do it. But it can be done. So I think it definitely would upset the major labels. I think it definitely would.
It's gonna be exciting to see what the next step is. You know what I mean? Because it really seems like labels are holding on and fighting. And clearly, I believe that there is a space for them. It's just a matter of change. And, like, you know, clearly everything that you all you brothers said, man. You know, one of the things that stands out to me, kind of going back to something that Swivel talked about as far as the money, the artists only seeing 20%. It reminds me of Jazzy Jeff coming out and talking about how he utilized his advance to buy a studio. So now, and he exposed that, you know, you're getting these advances, and then the label suggests a particular studio for you, which is actually their studio. So the money that they're giving you, you're giving it right back to them, and then they're taxing you on it to then only give you 20% or even less, given, you know what I mean, the marketing and promotion and all of that. And so it was him revealing, like, hey, we had this, you know, the independent type of mentality back then to flip our money and keep it. And then again, like, you know, hats off to y'all brothers for being able to, you know, cultivate an album and everything without having a big budget, you know what I mean? And being able to do all of the work yourself when it comes to mixing and mastering and having all the tools that you have. And it's like, I'm really hoping that this next generation, you know, of younger independent artists understand what that is, to be able to be successful and look at longevity within this industry, you know, with or without a label, you know?
Yeah. I think I mean, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say was, I would definitely hope so. But what I will say about that is, I don't think that kind of tenacity or, you know, intelligence, period, that kind of forethought, I don't think that's going to come out of this business. That comes from having, you know, business acumen, period. Like, case in point, me and Mark Dub, we both have Teespring accounts. So we both have merch that we can present to the public, right? And I was doing a little bit of research on, you know, how to properly promote it, you know, how to maximize my sales and all that. And I came across this lady who, I guess she made $250,000 last year off of Teespring. I mean, but my thing is, if you're making $250,000, why don't you buy a building and print the shirts yourself at that point?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense for me to, like, that people don't think ownership anymore. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to, you know, I'm always gonna be making music, but regardless of whatever I do, whether it's, you know, editing film, creating film, whatever, like, having ownership. I might do a deal with somebody, but that's to have ownership of my next situation. You feel what I'm saying? But
I think it has to do with security. It's why like they go to a major or why they go to a major company. Like just take that situation, for example, you made $250,000 and now you're going around and still giving your money to somebody else, knowing that there's security in that. You know what I mean? Like there's security in, I know where my money's gonna come from. And if I stick to it this way and to go independent and to go without that safety net, that's the scary part for a lot of people. I mean, to be honest, I deal with that almost every day working for myself. That is a scary place to be in, where if I don't make this happen, I'm not gonna eat today, let alone tomorrow. I'm not even gonna be able to get there because I ain't got no gas to do it. And a lot of people need that security, whereas other people, like myself, it's a driving force. Like, no, I gotta make it happen. Like, Swivel, you the same way. Like, if you had to do this thing, knowing that you got 3 people dependent on, 3 people dependent on you. Five's the same way. You got three people dependent on you. You know what I'm saying? Well, 2 people depending on you. It's like, yo, I can't lose. That's a driving force. But for those who can't, like, oh, I got people depending on me. I got to get some type of safety net. They live for that. I think both of those are needed. But I think that's what keeps a lot of people from going completely independent, because they need a safety net.
Well, I also think that I'm touching like from the music standpoint, like those kids, are, like they're just too young and not educated enough to like, know what's being put in those contracts. They're not reading the fine print. They're not, they don't have the resources to have a lawyer to make sure like everything is legit and that sort of thing. And so, conversations like this and others that are, where game is being shared, in terms of like, this is how you can protect yourself and not get caught up in, a 360 deal, for example. Like I think these kids are getting smarter, and at some point the labels are gonna have to adapt. If the labels don't get completely eliminated, like they're gonna have to adapt in terms of like, being better partners with independent artists.
Right. I think we're down to like the major 3 now, right?
Say again?
We're just down to the major 3 labels, right? Like a lot of these have like joined into one place.
Yeah.
Universal, Sony Music Group, and what else?
Warner, yeah.
Well, they've always been the umbrellas for everything, and then all of the other labels kind of become subsidiaries of the parent. Shout out to my brother Rollo, who is well more versed than I am when it comes to labels and the interactions and the benefits. Because one of the things that he pointed out and brought to my attention was the matter of having a team. And I think that's where a lot of, especially talking about the younger kids in this generation coming up, they don't have a team of fellow peers or their, classmates that understands marketing or understands promotion or understands how to get it out to the people. Whereas I think part of the benefit of being with the label is they already have a lot of those relationships and those teams and partnerships.
Right.
So when it comes to, a shout out to a lot of my, my fellow comrades that work mix shows and get records to DJs, like there's an actual department that's what they do. They develop relationships with DJs on whether it's a regional thing or international level, whatever the case may be. You have teams of experts at this point that work those different avenues to be able to get your music out to the people and keep it in rotations of sorts. Whereas independent, it's like shit, like, bro, you got to develop, like how you gonna get your record to a K Slay, or how you gonna get it to a big name DJ, how you gonna get it to the club, in a sense, which clearly that's obsolete at this current moment, but yet and still, how are you getting it out to people? Who do you have under your belt with the level of influence or whatever to be able to reach their core demographic of people,
And I think that just like you were saying, it comes to building your team, and then also networking as heavy as you can. And again, that's work a lot of people are not willing to do.
It's the same thing that major labels do. They just build the relationships. You have to know where to be, and when to be there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's not like you can't get in the building where these meetings are held, or, a lot of it's always at parties. That's why you'll see rappers at parties. I go to parties that don't party all the time, bro. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Because like I'm there to talk to somebody. I'm there to meet somebody. Like
right.
I mean, but you have to have that mentality. So I think one day, and I think it's really gonna happen real soon. The labels are gonna be obsolete because, like, I was watching, and this is kind of off the subject, but it's on the subject. I was watching a YouTube video the other day of rappers getting booed. They was booing DJ Khaled. He was running through like every hit that I knew he had for the last year, and they was booing dude off stage. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like, I think the more it carries on, like it's only gotten more ridiculous, but the more the ridiculousness carries on, it comes in waves. People gonna want something real now. You know what I mean? I remember the last time stuff got extra ridiculous, 50 Cent came out, and everybody wanted to be real again. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody wanted to be a thug again. So it's like, all right. And in reality, thugging never stopped. But it's just,
right.
Ja Rule was serenading bitches sounding like a lawnmower. Like it was all fucked up at that point. So, it comes in waves. I mean, I'm hoping to see a lot more of the real. I think people are kind of tired of, looking like fake. Like with the whole, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor situation. I know because I've asked a lot of my Caucasian friends, like, why are you out here? You feel what I'm saying? You wasn't marching for none of this shit that happened before. Like, that's why I don't be wanting to hear that from a lot of people. Like Mike Brown, the list goes on, family. Since I was a kid, we've been seeing this happen, right? So it's like when people show up now for that, it's like, well, where was that so long ago? But it's like, well, they didn't see it and they didn't really recognize it until they seen how Breonna Taylor's situation happened. Like she was doing nothing. You know what I mean? She was an EMT, bruh. She was in her bed, bruh. Got shot by police with a no-knock warrant. People didn't know that existed. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
they knew it existed. They were blinded by their privilege. It didn't affect them directly. Yeah. And now in this current state that we in, But I definitely feel you.
To bring it back to the music, I think because people see that, I think that's one of the reasons why 6ix9ine dropped from where he was at way to the bottom. Ain't nobody trying to see no rainbow hair dude in a chrome puff jacket talk about nobody trying to watch that right now, bro. Police is killing people out here. It's still happening in Portland. And they're doing that to white people in Portland. Like, I'm talking about. So it's like, with all that stuff happening in the real world, I think the fantasy that the labels build, they either gonna have to get a real thug out the streets to really bring it back, or, because the fantasy that labels like to build, that era's coming to a real abrupt halt, bro. People ain't trying to live in fantasy land no more.
Yeah, this is definitely the age of awakening, man, and I'm all the way here for it. You know what I mean? That was my introduction to hip hop with, and it's crazy. I mean, going back to Snoop, he kind of acknowledged like the OGs, the KRS Ones, the Rakims, the Public Enemies of the world, who were addressing a lot of these issues, even up to the Ice Cube and NWA. We're addressing a lot of these issues, and clearly, even though their music may not necessarily be in heavy rotation, it's something that we can go back to and still, has a voice. Shit, even all the way back to the James Browns and Ray Charleses of the world. That music lives for a reason and is considered timeless for that very reason. It's because they're giving people something that can speak to deeper than just, this facade and just wanting to party all the time, which ain't a real world. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a real world to just only be happy all the time.
Facts.
Sound like Joe Budden's talking to Lil Yachty right now. Everybody can't be happy. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic, fam.
Not realistic, fam. But I mean, a lot of what he was saying was true.
Very true.
You got to give the people more. Goes back to this conversation, man. So, I wanted to get into one more record and everything before we trail off and all that. What would you say on the project is something that, or which record really speaks true to the times that we kind of found ourselves in now?
I got two in mind.
Okay.
I got two in mind. First one that comes to mind is We Are Not the Same. And the other one is Lose My Cool.
I was just about to say Lose My Cool. I'm saying we roll with that one.
Yeah, Lose My Cool.
Yeah, I think
let's
definitely
do both of them. Man,
Let's do both of them.
let's do both of them, man.
There it
And in
is.
fact, that's how they land on the track list too. It goes, "We are not the same," and then "Lose My Cool." Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it between "We Are Not the Same"? Is that the skit where you guys are talking about like Chylite was telling you like to not be humble or whatever?
Well, that's when he was saying, you know, like, fuck niggas are needed in the world. Otherwise,
Yeah. If everybody's real, then being real don't mean shit. I mean,
Exactly.
So that's basically, you know, that's like the whole idea of the album, like the cover with the yin and yang. You have to take the good with the bad, fam. You know what I'm talking about? Love, let out. We've had great moments. It's the easiest part of this album. I said it was gonna be like that. The easiest part of this project was putting it togetger. You feel what I'm saying? The hardest part is getting it out to the people because we don't have a big label. You feel me? But
We're working
on
on
watching us getting it out. Believe that.
Hey, and a lot of that starts right here with the Kickback Show, the kickbackshow.com, all up in your face.
Snitch.
Let's get into this record. Snitch. DJ Swift.
I'm not trying to lose my cool with you. You be on that bullshit. I think a nigga might lose it. I'm feeling too sick. No, I'm not trying to lose my cool with you. Always trying to prove shit like it's something exclusive. You a nuisance, please be on your way. Please be on your way. Be on your way. I ain't got time for your bullshit. Be on your way.
The Kickback Show. What's in your cup?
A whole lot of everything, man. This is the Kickback Show, the kickbackshow.com. You know, I appreciate y'all brothers, man. So much love and much success to you with this project. Please do me a favor and let the people that are listening and watching know exactly where they can find you, where they can find the project and what they can expect in the very near future.
And your guys' merch as well.
For sure. Well, I am the meticulously multi-talented Mark W. coming at you one more time, yet again. I know you're doing well because you're watching us. This is my Meticulous brand. It's currently on Teespring, just the Meticulous brand. You can find it if you want it. I'll drop you a link. My man's the devastatingly debonair DJ Swivel was wearing one himself, and these are soon to come out, the dad caps. But as far as social media goes, you can follow me on Mark W Live. You can also follow me on IBS_Pro, and most recently, you can follow me at rawstream_show. That is the latest platform that I've myself and Swivel are hosting on Track Life Media. So we keeping it all in the family. So yeah, follow up.
All right, it's your boy CHY Lite. You see it, and if not, put your motherfucking goggles on. Whereas Mark Dub got a whole lot of shit he's doing in front of the camera. A lot of my shit behind the scenes. Definitive Visions, is my film company. We're doing a lot of editing and a lot of digital marketing tools that we're gonna be pushing out to people. As far as my music goes, you can follow me on all streaming platforms. Spotify is always popping, but I'm on iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, everything. Even Napster, I can't believe it, right? Check me out on YouTube, Chylite Ill Squad. Follow me on Instagram at Chylite, on Twitter at Chylite. And Light Wind is out right now. I know you always hear people say there's something for everybody on that album. I shit you not, there is something for everybody on that album. Born in Hate speaks towards all the negativity that 2020 brought. All right, so if you feeling like you don't want to have a good time, you don't want to party, you just want to be angry and feel that frustration get out, Born in Hate is streaming as well on all platforms.
Except for the last track on Born in Hate, Slide 5.
Except for Slide 5. All right, that's cookout music. All right, when you doing your social distancing cookout, get a really loud speaker, right, and play Slide 5. Trust me, your whole block gonna be boogieing. I promise. Okay, and expect more solo operations from Mark W and myself in the future. You feel what I'm saying? And we're not gonna speak on Light Wind Volume 2 yet, but
yeah, a little early
to speak on it. Go get the one that's out right now.
Exactly.
Man, And when Volume 2 comes back around, man, y'all already know that this is an open door. You know what I'm saying? So we'll definitely, it's always a treat when players meet. So it's, we'll definitely come back and do this all over again, brother. Y'all have 100% of our support. Thank y'all for being here, man. Please support these brothers. And as always, it's the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. What were you going to say, Mark?
Oh, no. I was going to say thank you for having me.
Oh, man.
That's easy. I do want to also mention, if for those out there who would like to see live performances, like Mark mentioned, we got the Raw stream, Chylite, and Mark W. Like, we're both featured artists on the inaugural show. The inaugural show of Raw stream. So we'll have that on the Kickback Show. You can just go to thekickbackshow.com, click on videos, and it'll be there as well as on track. So
you get to see a joint performance and a solo performance from each artist. Little 2-for-1 deal, the whole package. You know what I'm talking about?
Man, got to do it. You got to do it. Man, well, there it is, man. Much love to y'all again, man. What we going out with? What we playing?
I think Mark froze up again, family.
Yeah. Well, also...
Hey, why is his mouth always open when he frees up, though?
It's a thing with lack of facial hair. It causes you had a Puff Daddy effect. They also... Legend has it, too, that if you brush Mark W's goatee, you can hear bacon crackling.
Oh man!
You a coffee boy?
What we going out with, man?
Oh my God! Wait, hold on. You need a song to play to go out with, or what?
Yeah, we can go out with a song. Or
go out with a song.
Shit.
Should we go out with Burn One?
Burn One, definitely. Fire in the hole, goddamn.
There it is, man. As usual, follow us at the Kickback Show. I'm Wave Cap Johnny on Instagram, and he is
Chylite. You see it?
Yes, sir.
Swivel on Instagram, DJ Swivel on Twitter, SWIVLL.
Shout out to Tiana Jobana, Organic Blackberry. Much love to the ladies, the first ladies of the Kickback Show, all that good stuff and things, man. Much love to y'all, man. Peace.
Hey, see you, brother.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yo. My nigga, you gotta hit this shit. This is some Bob-ass weed, bro.
Again, for the last time, bro, I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. Now, sure? I'm positive. Can you please just get the music?
We gonna make this
from your drive.
We gonna make this, man, right now. You know what? Don't trip. That's more weed for me. I appreciate you. Thank you. I was just trying to share. Care. We gonna make this music right now. Don't trip. I got you. I appreciate you looking out for me. Thank you.
I got you. Thank you. Just get fuck. Can I burn one for you? Even if the breeze ain't meant for you. Can I burn one? Burn one for you. Tell me if it's good enough. Tell me if it's good enough for you. Tell me if it's good enough.
Can I burn one for you? Can I burn one for you? Even if the breeze ain't for you. Burn one for you. Burn for you. Tell me if it's good enough for you.
I burn tree religiously. It's okay if you don't, long as it don't bother you. Shit don't mean that I won't. I understand some really hate it, but as long as it's quality smoking, that sense usually appreciated. Slightly inebriated helps with my mood swings and keep my third eye open about how I view things. Truth brings anger, but ignorance brings danger. This here brings me peace. The rap just brings some flavor. Look, sativa breather, speaking the language of the ether. Some think it's gibberish just because I'm chief and reefer. But you can answer this later. How does the mind of the man created understand the mind of the creator? I came across that knowledge in the cloud of kush. So some truth to that legend about the burning bush. Marinate on that, I continue to roll. Don't trip, I'll burn it for you if you ain't the type to smoke.
Can I burn one for you? Even if the breeze ain't meant for you. Can I burn one for you? Can I burn one for you? Tell me if it's good enough. Tell me if it's good enough for you. Tell me if it's good enough.
Can I burn one for you? Can I burn one for you? Even if the breeze ain't for you, burn one for you, burn for you. Tell me if it's good enough for you.
They asked me if I smoke, I must decline, my bad. I got some things to handle, but dabble in your bag. Your gas used to be premium, now it's just seasoning. Sprinkle my portion for sources who need it for dreaming in color. Word to my brother breaking down for the session, he said,
cool if I smoke?
I said, yup, that's proper etiquette. Light your medicine, let it do what it does, I'm good cousin. But don't think I quit just because I was a bug connoisseur. Propane chaser, Kahlua, backwoods, wrapped a few up, then laced my shoes up. Out the door for show I had to, adjusted my attitude. Before slick shit, got fat lips like Dilla produced. Whew, probably flew you cool, but half the time a half a dime is all you really blew. Ooh, good thing I figured out the balance. Go ahead, enjoy your salad, but I got one question. Can I burn one for you? Even if the breeze ain't meant for you. Can I burn one for you? Can I burn one? Tell me if it's good enough. Tell me if it's good enough for you. Tell me if it's good enough.
Can I burn one for you? Can I burn one for you? Even if the breeze ain't for you, burn one for you, burn for you. Tell me if it's good enough for you.
Don't miss a beat. Follow us on social media at The Kickback Show. Kickback on everything.